everyone. Welcome back to HealyWell. If you watched part 1, you now understand what rumination is and why it's so dangerous. You know how it damages your focus, drains your energy, and increases your risk of anxiety and depression. Now comes the important question. What do we actually do about it? Today, we're diving into practical solutions, real techniques that actually work. And here's the thing, you don't need to use all of them. Different strategies work for different people. Think of this as a toolbox. Try them out and find what clicks for you. Let's get started. Solution 1, recognize that rumination doesn't help. This might sound obvious, but it's crucial. You need to understand deep down that rumination is not productive. It's not a sign that you care. It's not evidence that you're working through your problems. It's not showing empathy or responsibility. What it actually is, you're just wearing out your brain, exhausting yourself, and carving those mental grooves deeper and deeper, grooves that become harder and harder to change. This awareness, it's your first step toward freedom. Solution 2, identify and manage your triggers. This is huge, and it's not just for rumination. This technique is used for addiction, OCD, anger management, you name it. Here's the concept. Every behavior has a trigger, something that sets it off, like pulling a trigger on a gun. Most people think their rumination just appears out of nowhere. I don't know, I just suddenly start thinking about it. But that's rarely true. If you pay close attention, you'll find the trigger. Real-life examples. Maybe there's someone at work who always gets you started. As soon as you see them, boom, your mind goes into that loop. They mention politics or complain about something, and suddenly you're off to the races, replaying conversations for hours. Or maybe it's your morning routine. You wake up, pour your tea, and while it's cooling, you think, let me just check my phone. You start with friendly messages, then you scroll up to that person you have issues with. Let me see what they said. And the second you open it, the cycle begins. Or here's a good one. Someone said they would wake up at midnight to use the bathroom, see a notification, open their phone, and boom, there goes the rest of the night. So what do? Identify your triggers, then manage them. If that coworker is your trigger, keep interactions brief. Hi, how are you? Good morning, and move on. Don't get pulled into discussions about news, politics, prices, regulations, because within seconds you're activated. If it's your phone in the morning, don't touch it. Or better yet, don't have it in your bedroom at all. If it's seeing your neighbor's car, maybe take the trash out at a different time. Now, some of you might be thinking, does this mean I can never see that person, never read certain news? Not necessarily. You can build in safeguards. Read the news with someone else present. Set a timer. 5 minutes and you're out. Don't scroll alone late at night. Here's a fun exercise. Sit down with friends and share your triggers. You'll be amazed at what people come up with. It's eye-opening, builds empathy, and honestly, it's kind of therapeutic. The bottom line, managing triggers works. It's one of the most effective strategies we have. Solution 3, ground yourself in sensory experience. This is the mindfulness approach, being present in the moment through your senses. Now, full transparency, while this is popular and works for many people, I personally think trigger management is more effective, but mindfulness has its place. Here's how it works. When you're spiraling, stop and focus intensely on something in your environment. Really focus. Look at a flower. Notice its color, how it moves in the breeze, the texture of its petals. Listen to birds. Feel the air on your skin. Even in traffic, you can focus on a car logo, a door handle, some small detail. Sometimes this creates a nostalgic flow, like, oh, we had a car like that. My uncle drove one just like it. And you zoom into that memory, let it take you somewhere else, away from the rumination. Marcel Proust wrote beautifully about how the simple act of pouring tea could unlock a flood of memories and pull him completely into the present moment. Does it work? For some people, absolutely. It's worth trying.
Solution 4. Use timed work blocks. Okay, this one I strongly recommend. Along with trigger management, this is gold. Here's the idea. When rumination starts, when you feel that mental momentum building, you cut it off with a focused task. Set a timer for 15 minutes, not 25, not 30, just 15, and do one specific thing. Read a book, solve a puzzle, wash dishes, translate something, do push-ups. Whatever it is, you focus on it completely for those 15 minutes. But I can't focus. My mind is too busy. I hear you. Do it anyway. Put your head down and read. Your mind will wander. That's fine. Bring it back. The point isn't perfect focus. The point is interrupting the momentum. Important. Use a sand timer, not your phone. Know why? Because the second you pick up your phone to check the time, you'll see a notification. Oh, let me just check this message. And boom, you've triggered yourself again. After 15 minutes, take a break, rest, and if you can, do another round. These blocks of focused activity slow down the rumination. They prevent it from building into that unstoppable avalanche. You're basically putting speed bumps in the road. Solution 5. Choose active, not passive, pleasures. This is fascinating and counterintuitive. When people feel bad, what do they usually do? I'll distract myself, watch some Netflix, play on my phone, eat something nice. All pleasant activities, right? Here's the problem. Research shows that passive, pleasant activities don't actually help. In the moment, sure, you feel a bit better, but long-term, they can actually lead to more depression. What does help? Active pleasures, activities that require real effort. Running? That's active. Sitting on the couch? That's passive. High-intensity cycling? Active. Playing with your cat? That's passive. Here's why this matters. When your effort level crosses a certain threshold, rumination becomes impossible. Try this. Get on a stationary bike. At low speed, you can ruminate all day while pedaling, but crank up the resistance, push harder. At a certain point, when your heart rate hits around 130 to 140, you literally can't think about anything else except the physical effort. Same with heavy weightlifting, complex math problems, intense concentration on a difficult task. Your brain simply can't do both at that level of intensity. Be careful though. Some activities look active but aren't, like walking your dog while your mind runs on autopilot, still ruminating the whole time. That doesn't count. You need genuine mental or physical effort. Solution 6. Connect meaningfully with loved ones. Humans are social creatures. Physical connection, hugs, holding hands, just being together, literally changes our brain chemistry, reduces stress hormones. But here's the crucial part. When you're with loved ones, don't spend the whole time talking about your rumination. Wait, isn't that what I should do? Vent? No, because then you're just rehearsing the rumination out loud. You're strengthening those grooves. Instead, briefly mention it. Yeah, yesterday this thing happened. It's been on my mind. I'm upset. Okay, acknowledged. Now talk about anything else. Tell stories. Ask about their lives. Be present with them. The connection itself is what heals. The empathy, the feeling understood, not the endless retelling. Even in therapy, good therapists know this. They won't let you spiral for an entire session. They'll redirect. Let's talk about other things, other feelings, other experiences. The research backs this up. People who regularly have meaningful social connections several times a week show significantly less rumination, less PTSD, less depression months later. Solution 7. Get back to life. This is called behavioral activation, and it's simple. Keep living. Don't isolate. Don't stay in bed. Don't let everything fall apart. Take care of your hygiene. Get dressed. Do your dishes. Keep up with basic tasks. If you can do something in person instead of by text, go in person. The walk and human contact help. The more you withdraw and go passive, the more space rumination has to operate. Fill your life with activity, even small mundane activity, and you squeeze out the rumination. Solution 8. Stop it early. This is like trigger management, but for once the rumination has already started. The first few minutes are crucial. That's when you can still stop it. Think of it like an avalanche. At the top of the mountain, you can stop it. Once it's rolling, good luck. So when you notice it starting, you literally tell yourself, stop. This is rumination. I'm cutting this off. Not now. Will curiosity pull at you? But I just want to think about it one more time. That's the trap. Don't. After 5 or 6 minutes, your emotional circuits fire up and it becomes much harder to stop. Catch it early or you'll be dealing with it all day. Solution 9. Use third-person perspective. Gamers will get this immediately. In video games, you can toggle between first-person view, seeing through your character's eyes, and third-person view, where the camera pulls back and you see yourself from outside. Research shows that third-person perspective dramatically reduces rumination. Instead of reliving that argument from inside your head, imagine watching it from above. See yourself sitting there. See the other person. Notice what's happening as an observer. In that room, I was sitting there. They said this, I said that. This distance helps. You stop being trapped in the emotional intensity and can see things more clearly. Solution 10. Write it down. If you absolutely must process the rumination, write it out. Properly. Complete sentences, good grammar, the works. Here's why this helps. In your mind, you can compress an entire painful day into 3 seconds. You can replay it at lightning speed. That's part of what makes rumination so destructive. It's fast and condensed, building momentum like a boulder rolling downhill. Writing slows you down. You physically can't write as fast as you think. It's like putting brakes on a truck coming down a mountain pass. So if you're desperate to tell someone, write them a letter instead. You'll find that the act of writing itself takes the edge off. Solution 11. Deal with insomnia. Here's something important. Insomnia itself isn't dangerous. Unless someone's externally preventing you from sleeping, your brain will eventually let you sleep when you need it. The problem is what you do while lying awake. So if you're lying there at 2 a.m. with nothing to do, what happens? Either you grab your phone and hit your triggers, or you ruminate. So get out of bed. Read. Do an activity. Something engaging, not passive TV where your mind can wander. The insomnia isn't the enemy. The unsupervised mind time is. Solution 12. Consider medication if needed. SSRIs, antidepressants like Zoloft, citalopram, fluoxetine, won't directly stop rumination. They're not designed for that. But they can help indirectly. They reduce baseline anxiety, calm arousal, improve sleep, and all of that makes it easier for you to implement these other strategies. If your anxiety is high and you're struggling, talk to a psychiatrist. Medication might be a useful tool in your toolkit. It's not a magic bullet, but it can create the conditions for success. Your path forward. So, there you have it. 12 practical solutions for escaping rumination. Remember, you don't need to do all of these. Pick 1 or 2 that resonate. Try them for a week. See what happens. Maybe trigger management transforms your mornings. Maybe work blocks become your secret weapon. Maybe it's writing or third-person perspective or simply getting back into life. The point is action. Not perfect action, just consistent, deliberate effort to break the cycle. Because here's the truth. Rumination will keep happening if you let it. But you have power here, more than you might think. These aren't just theories, they're proven strategies that work. Use them. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on HealyWell.